adjacent to a school, it paves the way for a 6-story rental building. So what exactly are we talking about here, and what is potentially being lost from these school grounds? Heman Mehta is joining us now, chair of the Fleming Elementary Parent Advisory Council. Thank you for taking the time and for being with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Jill.
Before we talk about the vote and what happened, can you explain where this school is, the piece of property, and what was in question?
Yes, so our school is located Sir Stanford Fleming Elementary at the corner of 9th and 49th. It's in a very busy intersection. And basically, they took down the old building and built a new building in the back. And they've decided to demolish the old building and turn that into a parking lot, and everything in front of it at the corner of 9th and 49th, they're planning to sublease it or lease it out for 99 years.
And that's the school board that's planning to do that?
That's right, yeah. So this was 4 years ago. They came in and did a public consultation. Apparently, even before the public consultation, that already applied to rezone that piece of land. And now they've gone ahead and at the public hearing that I presented on Thursday with the city of Vancouver, unfortunately, they've gone ahead and approved the building of 87 units at the corner of 9th and 49th, where currently we have 2 basketball courts and a green area for our kids to play in.
And so the basketball courts in the green area, is that part of the new building or the new school?
No, they've fenced it off. So that basketball court that our kids used to play on has now been fenced off for over a year. And our kids now get 2 side-by-side half courts congested beside the playground. Now we have 0 room for our school to grow, which is already at overcapacity.
The school itself, so Fleming School, is already over capacity?
Correct. They actually built the school by reducing the population of the school to 400. And then they said, we're going to build the school for 400 students. We have 422 kids in the school now. Their flawed numbers said that the school population will be at 76% in 2031. And then the paperwork recently got updated in October saying that it's going to be 105% over capacity in 2031. And when the counselors asked the question of, is the school over capacity? The response was there's still 10 spots left. I'm not sure where these 10 spots came from. Again, we have 422 kids in a school designed for 400 kids. So when we do run out of space, our kids will have to move into portables that are going to have to be built on the only field that we have, which is our soccer field.
Which does not sound ideal when you're talking about kids and making sure kids have green space and places for sports and such.
That's right. Yeah, even when they did the mock-ups for the school, you'll see the mock-ups have all this green space. Our entire soccer field is made out of gravel. Our kids fall and hurt themselves every day, come home with bloody knees. And so the only grass we have in our school is on the hills. And anyone who drives past it, you'll see that there's 0 green in our space. The only space that we had potential to grow into is now being given away literally for a cost of $7,000 per month to a developer. So they're getting rid of 7 lots at a cost of $7,000 per month, which is pennies. So we have no idea who is making these decisions. The trustees that voted against this, Susie Ma and Jennifer Reddy, were the only ones who supported not doing this. And then even the counselors, Lucy Maloney and Sean Orr, were completely against building a school on a public property. The other thing Susie Ma also mentioned was, this is the corner of 49th and Knight. To build 87 units in such a high density area will actually create more stress and mental health issues for the residents of that corner. It'd be so much better if we can move the parking lot to that corner and actually repurpose that parking lot for our basketball courts and our green space. It's completely backwards what they're doing right now and how they're thinking in such a short-term way with flawed data.
If you're just tuning in, my guest is Heman Mehta, the chair of the Fleming Elementary Parent Advisory Council. Heman, I want to go back to something you mentioned, because that does seem like a really strange number, that this is the school board leasing this piece of property at 49th and Knight to developers for 99 years. Do you know where that number, the $7,000 a month, where that came from?
Oh yeah, the deal that they've made is $8.5 million for 99 years, which translates to $7,000 a month. So for such a beautiful piece of land that is super needed by our kids to grow into, my grandkids, especially even the current generation, they're giving that land away for $7,000 per month. I'm not sure how, first of all, someone would get a deal like that. I think we should ask for an independent review on who's making these decisions and how can they give away public land for such a meager little price.
I know council also had to weigh in, like you mentioned, the public hearing, and some of the councillors saying, it wasn't their decision, that it's the school board that made that decision. But they're also saying, I think one of the councillors, Sarah Kirby-Young with ABC, said she recognizes that parents are disappointed, especially with the lease and what's happening with the land. I guess, is there any recourse at this point, or is this a done deal?
Well, she did actually vote to zone it. So she actually, while she said we were disappointed, she actually went ahead and made the decision to give away that piece of land. I don't know what the recourse is, but I should let you know that it's 87 units that are going to be built there. And on the same public hearing, they gave the okay to build another 116 units at the corner of Chester Street and 49th, which is literally 3 blocks down. So now you have 116 units plus 87 units being built, plus all the multiplex units that are going to be in this environment because the city of Vancouver wants to build more condensed housing, which is perfectly fine. We're all for progress and more buildings, but where are all these kids going to go?
Right, because with all of those units, you've got to think some of them are going to have kids. Those kids are going to want to go to Fleming Elementary, but as you mentioned, it's already over capacity.
Correct. And not just that, our school is one of a plan of probably about 10 schools that the Vancouver School Board is going to do this to. And I should point out that when they created this plan in 2020, they created a short-term opportunity plan to rezone school land with selection based on modest opposition. Basically, we believe, at least the 4 schools that are picked so far, which is Carleton, Bruce, Sexsmith, and Fleming, are going to get subdivided, and they're all on the east side. Okay? And so the way I interpret this least modest opposition is that, you know what? If you go after these east side schools where it's full of immigrants, people with language barriers, people with multiple jobs. We are the backbone of the city. Nurses, social workers, taxi drivers, tech workers are working in this environment. Everyone is busy, and not enough people are able to come and oppose on this because they have jobs. And so this is working in their favor. Anything like this, if anything like this were to happen on the west side of Vancouver, you know how much connection those people and the residents there have. And there would be no way this can go through. But pick a site on Knight and 49th, and here we are today.
Well, He-Man, we'll have to leave it there for today, but I really do appreciate you coming on and raising more awareness about this. Thank you for making the time, and we will talk to you again soon, I'm sure.
Thanks for having me, Jill.
All right, that is He-Man Mehta, the chair of the Fleming Elementary Parent Advisory Council. We are going to pause there and get you caught up on your